Hey everyone, welcome back to another diamond painting video here on my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie. Welcome if you are new here. I'm so glad you're here. Today I'm going to chat a little bit about what my plans are for 2026 when it comes to diamond painting as well as YouTube. Now last year I actually listed out 20 different kits I wanted to work on in 2025 as well as 5 goals that I had for the year. This year I'm doing it a little bit differently. I'm keeping the idea of setting 5 specific goals for myself, which we'll chat about. But then this year, I started to write out a list of kits to work on and honestly came up against a crazy mental block about it. I was struggling really hard. So what I ended up doing instead is I created a bingo card. Now, I am not the first person to do a diamond painting bingo card at all, but it's the first time I've done one on my channel and I really wanted to do my own take on it. So I hopped over into Canva and created a card that is comprised of different things that I want to try to get to in some form this year. I'm gonna give you a quick little peek at it, Diamond Painting Bingo. And the free space, we'll talk about it. And I thought I would take you through these and also mention some of the specific kits that I have in mind to work on this year for filling some of these different spaces. So yeah, if you want to make a bingo card for yourself, there are some different people that have made diamond painting specific ones. I feel like I usually see them on Facebook, or if you just go to Canva and type in bingo card, something will come up. So let me know if you're going to be doing a bingo card this year as well. My goal is actually to try to black out the card or get as close to a blackout as possible. But if nothing else, I will try to get bingos as we go along, and it'll hopefully give me some ideas and guidelines for what kinds of kits to work on this year. So let's go ahead and go through the bingo card first, and then I'll talk about some specific goals that I have, and we'll go from there. So first up on my bingo card, the very first square is a kit featuring Hades and Persephone. This feels like a little bit of a cheat because you guys know I love my Greek mythology, well, just any kind of mythology really in general. But Hades and Persephone is just a complete no-brainer. So that was a really easy spot. I don't actually have a very specific Hades and Persephone kit in mind. I have a Chrysabug Hades and Persephone kit. I have a handful of Chrysabugs that are specifically just Persephone. I have a Margaret Morales Hades and Persephone kit. And I also have a hunch that we'll see some companies release even more this year because it is such a popular couple. I also thought this would be fun to work on, thinking ahead a little bit to February when I'm going to be co-hosting a new event called Fairy Tales and Folklore with my friend Kate from Diamond Painting and Dr. Pepper. And this would be a really easy event to pair with this particular bingo space. So we'll see, but I don't think that one will be a hardship to work on at all. My second bingo space is the oldest kit in my stash. Now, this was on my list of kits to work on in 2025, and I didn't end up getting to it. So this year, I'm going to try again. This goes hand in hand with one of the goals I want to try to work on this year, which, just to give you a peek ahead, has to do with the Refresh Your Stash Challenge that Lizette is doing. And so this year, I would really like to try to get to the oldest kit in my stash, which is one of 2 Diamond Art Club kits that were part of, I believe, the same order. So we'll see. I'll see if I can get to that one this year. Space number 3 is a rainy day stash kit. Here, I'll let you see the first row. Is a rainy day stash kit. My camera does not want to focus. It's like, nope. Space number 3 in the top row is a rainy day stash kit. Again, this one feels like a bit of a softball because while it's not a formal goal of mine this year, I do still, just generally speaking, have this idea that I want to keep focusing on rainy day stash kits. Okay, let me not. It's like an in-joke that I'm not filling some of you in on. Rainy day stash, what that is kits that have some kind of special meaning to me. It's just a phrase I came up with to describe kits that I want to save and savor for a little bit before I work on. It's like letting them live in my stash for a little bit makes me appreciate and enjoy them a lot more. This kind of approach isn't for everybody, but I really like it. That said, there's a balance where I feel like a couple of years ago, I really was not reaching for kits in my rainy day stash. I was kind of hoarding kits away and really being stingy about working on them. And 2025, I turned that around and really tried to focus on actually enjoying and giving love to those kits, especially because enough kits were coming out that I was adding back into my rainy day stash that it's not like I was really going to run out. So square number 4 on my bingo card is a Mandy Manzano princess panel. Now, this was another carryover from 2025 where one of my kits that I wanted to work on was a Mandy Manzano princess panel, and I didn't get to one. You could see a theme. I'm trying to revisit some of these ones that I didn't get to last year. And so I really want to get through. I have the complete princess panel collection, and I've only completed 2 of them. And it's too few. I don't want to let those just sit. I actually really do want to work on them. And this happens to also really neatly fall under the Refresh Your Stash challenge, because those are some really old kits and I would like to work on those for that reason as well. Number 5 is another really easy one in the lineup, but I had to include this one because it felt like it's such a core part of my channel, and that's a kit featuring a dragon. I love all things dragons. If I had a mascot for my channel, 100% it would be a dragon. Most of my stash is fantasy and portraits, and really dragons are their top tier for me. So, but sometimes I'll find that I don't work on as many kits with dragons in them as I would like to have. 2024, I did a year of the dragon, which was really fun. Each month I worked on and completed a different dragon kit in honor of the Lunar New Year, the year of the dragon. And I'm not going to try to do anything quite that intense this year, but I want to at least work on a kit that features a dragon. And I have plenty of possibilities. It's just a matter of picking one. Some specific ones that I have thought of. I have this really pretty one called Dragon Artist, that is a bigger one that I have been wanting to work on for a while. I have one that would overlap with some other themes and ideas I have for this year called Dragon Room. It just came out on Black Friday from Diamond Art Club by Geneva Bowers, and there's even more where that came from. So those are a couple of ones that I maybe had in mind. Now we're starting in the second row. And if you want to take a look at the second row here, or maybe I'll pop a picture up on the screen if that's not showing up really well when I go back to edit it. Don't mind my my very loud Band-Aid. My outer space obsessed youngest child insists on space themed Band-Aids, and that's what I had handy. So here we go. The first square in the second row is a kit with the color pink. Now, just like dragons, the color pink is another kind of foundation of my channel. It's what a lot of my things are themed on. When I do like overhead videos, it's with a pink background. A lot of my branding, I always feel weird using that phrase, honestly, with regards to my channel. But a lot of my branding, like my logo and stuff, is pink. It's just... what can I say? I like pink. So a kit that features, it says just a kit with the color pink, but it would be, I'm thinking a kit that prominently features the color pink. For kits with the color pink, there are plenty that would honestly work. One that was on my list of kits I maybe want to work on this year is Cat and Onigiri Room from Diamond Delights. And this, I feel like pink is if I'm remembering right, I hope I'm not remembering wrong. Pink is, I think, one of the prominent colors in it. And so that could be really fun to work on. There's also Yumiko, which just released from Diamond Art Club, that I love the cherry blossoms in and everything. So there's plenty of possibilities, but those are a start anyway. The next square, no one has taken over my account. This is not a cry for help. I included a square on this bingo card that is a landscape. And I even wrote on here, yes, I know. A landscape. I can explain, okay? I can explain. So this came from a place of, there's 2 particular kits that I keep kind of revisiting, potentially working on. And there's a third one that I could maybe argue falls under the umbrella of this one. So first is, I really would like to work on a Craftibly kit this year. Craftibly is a small shop that is closed. I am still not over it. I'm still really sad about it. And they closed a few years back. but their kits are so fantastic in terms of quality that I treasure the ones that I still have from them in my collection that I haven't worked on. And one of the ones that I have from them that for some reason it just kept catching my eye, as I joke, it's a landscape that I was like, this will be the one that fixes me, is called, I always don't know how to pronounce this, Inverarov Castle. And I like castle imagery for one, but this particular artwork I just thought was really beautiful. And in keeping with this kind of overall light theme that I have, which is featured in the free space on this bingo square, there actually is a very, very small size there, but there's definitely a man in this landscape. So I could tick 2 boxes in that way. I'll talk more about that free space once we get to it. But that's a possibility. There's also this amazing kit. Well, there's a handful of kits I have from Diamond Art Club that are from the artist, the MacNeil Studio. The MacNeil Studio no longer licenses their artwork with Diamond Art Club, but they are some of the only landscape style pieces that I've ever actually worked on and really loved. And I have 2 or 3 in my collection. And one of these in particular, I think I might want to work on for Drills and Chills this year. It's called Halloween Haunted House. This is just a really, really cool piece. And this works in my head as a landscape. The one that I was saying, like, maybe I could try to get away with calling a landscape is this other piece that's just called Villaris from Diamond Artisan. And I'm like, well, it's like a vintage travel poster. I could kind of argue that it's a landscape because it's, got a mountain and stuff in it. So that would be my backup. That would be a really easy, in my head, kind of landscape to do. So I don't know. I decided to be ridiculous and include a landscape on here. And why I'm making a thing out of this is because historically, and it is an ongoing thing on my channel now, I don't like landscapes. I don't historically enjoy working on them. Lots of confettied greens and flowers just usually burns me the heck out. But every once in a blue moon, there's the right variation of landscape. I'm thinking back to one of the first ones that I did in 2020 was Hope Runs Deep by Chuck Pinson. To this day, I mean, it's a little bit more of a cityscape. Technically, it's like a snowy village. It's so beautiful. I actually genuinely loved working on that kit. Dragon Cliff I'm blanking on the artist's name. I did that a few years back. And Herb Leonard, I think was the artist. That was kind of landscapey, and I really, really loved that one too. So it's just, I'm very particular about what kinds of landscapes I guess I want to work on. Next up, the next bingo square in this card is a kit with 100 or more colors. Now, this kind of ties into how this year, I'm mulling over some possibilities. So a couple of different companies that do max color kits that I am thinking of doing. I decided to just say 100 plus so that if I really need an out, I could do one of, like, I think Dragon Room from Diamond Art Club has more than 100 colors. But 9,900, I don't know. But I was kind of thinking this year might be a year that I get a max color Josephine Wall from Diamond Painting Deutschland, or from the one with the diamond art. I've actually never, I worked on one kit from the one with the diamond art a few years back, and I'm kind of curious to see if the quality is improved because I didn't have like a super great experience the first time around. And I wonder, I mean, it's been a few years, small shops, a lot can change. So there's those kind of max color count kits from those shops that I'm kind of kicking around working on one of those. Diamond Art Studio UK has a lot of max color count kits by Helcorio, and I kind of wonder if maybe this year they'll have any others from her that come out that are really high color count. I did Outside the Sweet Shop a couple years back and loved doing that one. So I don't know. I kind of just want to work on something oversized and over the top. So I thought, I'll do a space for 100 color count kit. Square number 4 on here is a cross-stitch conversion project. This has been a long time staple on my channel, is working on cross-stitch conversions. This could take a number of different shapes, whether it's tackling a new, like, larger size cross-stitch conversion project or doing a smaller chart to art style kit from Diamond Art Studio UK. Also, I am still on the fence on if I'm going to be doing a temperature project for 2026. And if I do end up doing one, which I'm still really waffling, honestly, on if I want to do one or not. I obviously don't have the materials if I'm going to do one, but if I end up doing one, kind of just playing some catch up on it, that would work as well, because historically the cross stitch conversion, the temperature projects I end up doing tend to be from cross stitch charts. So there is that. The last square on this line is a mini set, whether that's Paint Gem, Mini Dazzles from DAC, or there's a lot of other companies that do mini sets now. There is, oh man, I know I'm going to forget some because like I said, a lot of companies are doing them now, but I know Jada Gem Shop has some, the Diamond Design Co. has some, and more. I'm so sorry I'm drawing such a blank, but mini sets I think are so much fun to work on. Little travel friendly projects and stuff all on a theme. They're really cute. Okay. We are on the third line now, you guys. Line number 3. So starting over here. The first square on this line is a kit featuring art inspired by a fandom. This could be covered by a number of different things. Now, I have a separate square for a Disney kit, so I'm thinking I don't necessarily want to check off this box using a Disney kit, but in a pinch, I could, you know? But the kit that I mentioned earlier, Cat and Onigiri Room would work for that. Villaris would work for that. And there's other pieces that are loosely inspired by fandoms. Like there's one from Diamond Artisan that I got that has Derpy and Sussy from K-pop Demon Hunters. Fan art in general. I love fandom. It's kind of a special interest of mine and fandom culture and stuff. And so a lot of my favorite kits in my collection are things that are fan art-y or inspired by type pieces. This next square, I feel again like I cheated a little bit, but this was always intended to be on my list of kits to work on. But this next square, I actually get to check off. My first finish of the year will work for this particular square, and that is a mystery kit. I'm recording this video late. Like I said, I was really struggling with figuring out how I wanted to do my goals and figure out my kits for 2026. So I know we're a couple weeks into the year now, but better late and something I'm happier with than never, I guess. But anyway, I worked on the Ivy Dolomore mystery kit from Diamond Art Club. It has a fantasy variety theme. No spoilers here, no worries. But this kit also fits under the Refresh Your Stash challenge, and I finished this one, so I get to check off my first or X off my first box on this bingo card. Now we're at the free space and the halfway point of this bingo card. I have been talking a lot longer than I expected. I'm sorry, you guys. This free space is going to be, I just wrote Year of Men. And I thought this was funny. I don't know that like the humor, my weird sense of humor with this is really going to translate. So let me kind of explain where this came from in case you're new. Towards the end of 2025, was really fortunate to get to unbox some sneak peeks from Diamond Art Club that featured really incredible artwork that happened to also feature male characters. And in the diamond painting world, which is a heavily like female dominated hobby anyway, the vast majority of artwork that's out there and that gets licensed tends to have female characters, which, hello, portraits are a huge part of my collection and things you see worked on here. I love working on artwork with female characters, of course, especially like strong female characters, all of it. But there was something that was just really fun and very novel, I think, in a way, about seeing like this variety when it came to artwork that's coming out, and had me going back through my gems flow and going, oh, there's these like other kits that would work for it as well. Things that could work in kind of fun ways, like the Inverarav Castle that has like a little character in there. There are a lot of different ways I thought I could incorporate this as a loose theme throughout the year. Now, I'm not going to do this the same way that I did Year of the Dragon. I'm not going to work on a kit featuring a male character every month, but when there are opportunities to overlap this, and it's a kit that I really love the idea of working on anyway, I'm gonna go for it. That's what I'm kind of thinking with this particular theme. So this one's a free space because I chose as the free space because I thought, well, this I could overlap with so many of these other squares, and I thought I'll kind of use that as a very loose guideline that if I have something that a kit that features a dragon and also happens to have a man, awesome. If it's a mystery kit that happens to have a man, great. If it's a 100 color count kit that happens to also have a man, awesome. All these different kinds of things. So that's what I'm using as my loose theme. I did have a lot of fun in my whip and chat a few weeks back when we were at my parents' house and I mentioned this idea to my mom while we were filming a whip and chat together. She's a diamond painter too. And my husband was sitting there, and I told him, I was like, Adam, I had this really silly idea. And I had this also this really funny idea of incorporating this into a video where like I grabbed you and pulled you into it. I was like, hey, I'm going to tell you this theme I'm going to do for diamond painting this year, and be like, I'm going to do a year of men. And then like, it'd be funny. My sense of humor is kind of weird. And so I was just like, but apparently I'm just being impulsive and doing that right now instead. And he laughed and he was like, okay, well, that is pretty funny. So that's something I originally thought of potentially doing, and I didn't. So that's, I guess, just me giving you a little taste of it anyway. All right, let's keep rolling. The next space is a kit featuring a star or outer space imagery. This one I picked in large part in honor of my youngest, as I mentioned with this Band-Aid. He's obsessed with all things outer space. So this is the one I kind of picked in honor of him. I have a lot of kits with some really cool space imagery and stars. And to be fair, I have a specific kit in mind for this one that is one of my top priorities to work on this year. And that is Star Sailor by the Creativity Squirrel. And so this would work for that particular space. This is a small shop kit I have been meaning to get to and trying to get to for a long time. And so, yes, this is definitely a space I had a particular kit in mind for. Last space on here could easily overlap with some of the others we've talked about, but I thought this one would be kind of interesting. And it is a kit that is outside of my comfort zone. And this can be any number of different things. Technically, I would say that a landscape would qualify as a kit that's outside my comfort zone. If it's a kit that is different in terms of color palette than I would normally gravitate towards, or a kit that is a new concept that I haven't tried before that is stretching myself, or maybe it's a kit that's like a project kit. Maybe this is the year that I finally like test out ripping double-sided adhesive off a canvas and laying a layer of poured glue on it. This could look like anything, but I just like the idea of basically having a stretch yourself kind of goal on here, and seeing where that leads me could be really interesting. So I'm excited a lot of these squares, I'm just excited to get to look back on it, halfway point through the year and end of the year and go, oh, here's how I ended up fulfilling that particular space. Here's the direction I decided to go with it. So, okay, this next one, this actually would work for outside my comfort zone too. We're starting the next row. We're on the second to last row, friends. We're starting right here. And this first one is a kit with added enhancement drills. And this specifically, I'm thinking one that I decide to add some enhancements to. I debated whether or not to include this because historically, I don't really love the process of figuring out and adding enhancement drills to my kits. It feels like it's a little bit more work than I usually want to put into my diamond painting as a craft, but I just wanted to do something a little different this year. This would work if I did like an enhancement set from DP with sparklers, that would count. Or if it's something that I come up with myself, like, oh, I'm going to add in like a gold metallic drill in this spot or a blue crystal in this spot. I don't know. Just something that's me modifying a kit outside of the original charting. Next one. I do have a specific kit in mind for this next space, and I hope it doesn't come off as tone deaf. Let me explain. This one I said the most expensive kit in my stash. And this one I am pretty sure I know what kit it's going to be. There's a slight question mark. I've considered maybe destashing and getting a different one. Anyway, I have this kit that I had gotten from the Diamond Dots Masterclass line that, in my opinion, is very overpriced for what it is, quite honestly. It's called Herald of Spring. The artwork is absolutely stunning, but Diamond Dots has this, I think, kind of unhinged premium price tag on their Masterclass line for what they are. I bought this when the Masterclass line first released a few years back and never got around to working on this kit. And so I either want to actually work on this kit or destash it to fund trying out. I guess they've made some updates from what I've seen to some of their based on feedback to their masterclass kits. And they have a couple others that are artwork that is a little bit more my style and has like, maybe if it's one that has like the little mini dots, I'm really curious about trying. Either way, this square really mostly functions to be an excuse to work on a Diamond Dots and masterclass kit, because I need to report back and like, I feel like essentially confirm that these are overpriced for what they are, but I want to actually also work on them because of the cost that has been put into them, and do a post review. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. This next square is a kit featuring a fox. And this one is in honor of my oldest, who, if everything we did for my youngest kiddos, like nursery and room and everything was space themed, for my oldest, it was everything fox themed. And foxes are usually right up there with like just under dragons as far as like favorite things, or if I had a mascot for my channel, it would be a fox. There's a couple of kits I have in mind as possibilities for this one. One is called Fox and Mushrooms from Diamond Art Studio UK. And this is by EYCIIR, Acier, or Esther, I don't remember her last name. Esther Voros, I believe. And I love her artwork, and her foxes are so ethereal and beautiful. I would really like to work on one of these this year. There was a smaller snack size one I recently unboxed that's more fall themed that I could work on as part of Drills and Chills, but we'll see. I wanted to leave it open though. I have a lot of other kits that have foxes in them as well, but right now what I have in mind is a Diamond Art Studio UK one by this particular artist. Next up is a square that says artwork by John William Waterhouse. This is so that I can keep up my series of John William Waterhouse portraits that I work on each year for Summer with the Masters. So 2021, 22, 23, 24, 25. So I've done five different ones, one each year. Summer with the Masters is a diamond painting event that I started and have hosted for the past 5 years, and I'm planning to host again this year. And it centers around kind of classic artwork. And every year I have done a different John William Waterhouse piece. And this year I think might be the year I try to work on Boreas, but I probably mispronounced it. I feel like I really just mispronounced that. But there are a couple others I've screenshot and have kind of thought of as well, but I should probably, if I'm going to order that as a custom, I should probably get that ordered sooner rather than later, because customs could take a long time to actually get in. But I want to keep up my series and streak of John William Waterhouse portraits and keep working my way through his library, because it's just really stunning. Last one in this series, in this row rather, is a square that says a kit with books in the image. And this is one that could work in a wide variety of ways. I'm looking at my little list in front of me of like potential kits. There's a Make Market kit that's just called Books that I thought could work for this. That would also work for another square. But also there's a lot of possibilities for kits with books in them. So this one is really generic. I think won't be too hard to fill this square either. All right, we're starting on the very last row, friends. We're going to start with a budget-friendly kit. And I'm thinking like a Make Market kit, something that's licensed, like a Make Market kit, or like a Leisure Arts Camelot Dots kind of kit that you can get for really inexpensive on like Amazon or in some stores. Just something that's super budget-friendly, because I have the most expensive kit in my stash, and I really like to try to offer a wide variety of options and reviews of different kits, different price points, different features here on my channel. That way, no matter kind of what budget you're working within, you can see some different options that are out there, especially with licensed artwork. So I want to get to that this year, and I left this more generic and didn't say specifically like a Make Market kit, because I want to go ahead and explore some of the other options that might be out there that I'm not necessarily aware of. I even have some that I've gotten from Five Below. Those would totally work. So yeah, lots of possibilities here. Next up is a square that says a comparison project. So a kit that's part of a comparison project. I have kicked around working on the kit Titania and Oberon, actually working on a Josephine Wall kit. This one I have from Diamond Art Club, and I've kicked around getting another version of this kit, either from Diamond Painting Deutschland or from the one with the diamond art, to do like a big comparison project series on here on my channel. This is kind of one of the first like bigger things I did on my channel when I started it back in 2020, 2021. I did this big comparison series of the artwork Spirit of Flight by Josephine Wall and worked on the Diamond Art Club and Diamond Painting Deutschland versions side by side. The kicker with doing this kind of series, though, is that this artwork is no longer available actively from Diamond Art Club. To track down Josephine Wall kits from Diamond Art Club, you have to go to a D-Stash group. So if I decide not to go this route, I could complete Diana from Diamond Art Club and do a comparison with the Treasure Studios art version of it. I could do Hades and Persephone by Margaret Morales and compare that to the DIY Moonshop version. I have a few DIY Moonshop Margarets that I could compare, or DIY Moonshop Cherryukis I could compare to the versions that are now licensed at Jaded Gem Shop. So, and there's other ways I could take a comparison project as well. So either way, comparison projects have been a long time staple in my channel, and I want to do another one of those sometime this year. Next up is a kit with a cat or cats in the artwork. This is also partly in honor of, well, my oldest current interest, because he's not necessarily super into foxes right now, but gosh, he loves his cat and cats in general. And this one I don't think will be too tricky. I don't have a specific kit in mind. I was thinking, well, maybe the Herbalist from Jolly Gem Shop. There was an issue I discovered where I think that package got stolen off of my porch, which really sucks. And I'm gonna have to figure out potentially replacing that. I've talked to the shop and we're gonna see. I'm gonna try to contact the carrier, but it's been longer than I realized since they tried to deliver it because of an issue with the tracking number. I'm super bummed about it. And so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to replace that or not, but that kit has a cat in it. And I'd love to do that one and try out that shop too. Second to last square is a Disney kit. I have a lot of Disney kits from Diamond Art Club here in my stash, and I also have a licensed Disney kit or two from some other shops. I have a Diamond Dots one that was one of the first ones that I had bought on clearance from Joann's way back when that I could do as part of the Refresh Your Stash Challenge. I have this one that I have a feeling is going to be one of the most terrible diamond paintings I've ever done. That is a Thomas Kincaid piece from, it's basically like the same brand as Rose Art as a diamond painting. I think it's going to be terrible. I'm like morbidly curious to do this particular one and see how it turns out. Or I could do a nice, wonderfully high quality Diamond Art Club Disney kit and call that good too. So we'll see. Last but not least, you guys, I have the last square is a kit from a New to Me shop. And this just reflects, this is like a cornerstone on my bingo square because this reflects a huge value I have on my channel and leads into some goals that I have this year where I want to continue trying out either New to Me shops or small shops I haven't tried in a while to see if they've made any changes and reviewing them so that you guys can see completed kits from a wide variety of different companies here so that you can find ones that match the features and have the artwork and everything that you personally are looking for so that you know you are spending your money in a way that is not throwing away your money, which is, again, that's a huge part of my channel is just wanting to be helpful so that you have a more enjoyable diamond painting experience and hopefully enjoyable along the way. So that is a very in-depth look at my diamond painting bingo card. The specifics for that last square, there's a lot of different shops that I haven't tried out that I'm going to see just what I have the budget for and everything this year to get to. So there's any number of shops that could fill that one. And I'm hoping that's one that I could X out numerous times over just this year in general. But anyway, that's my bingo card. And I will be keeping you guys posted. I might pull this out in like my monthly review videos to check in and be like, okay, here's what we get to X off this month. But we'll see. So that is that. I'd like to just really quickly take you through 5 different goals that I've set for myself for 2026. And these are things that I found really helpful to do last year, was to set these goals. And it wasn't supposed to be a punishing, like really heavy duty kind of thing. It was more of a just when I wanted to make sure I was feeling on track for the year. And I wanted to just kind of check in and say, okay, what did I say I wanted to try to make sure I was focusing on and making a priority of this year? I kind of would go back to these things, and I found it really helpful and not too obtrusive, if that makes sense. So I broke this down into 5 for this year, and there is some overlap from past years, but some new ones too. Goal number 1 is that this year I really want to do more tutorials and how-tos on my channel. When I started my channel in 2020, for the first year or two, I did a ton of tutorials and how-tos. And then for a while, I kind of felt like I'm out of ideas. I feel like I've done all of the kind of major, like big kinds of things that I feel like I have learnings to share about. I just don't know that I have anything new to add to the conversation. Every once in a while, I would have an idea and do another kind of tutorial or how-to. And that's something I really enjoy doing because this craft has brought me so much joy. And I know how helpful I found those kinds of videos to be when I started out crafting. I want to bring that back around to my channel again. I have to say that I also, having watched my friend Kara from the Principal Painters 2026 goals video, she's also going to be trying to do the same with her channel. So if this is something that you're interested in, and I know she's not the only one, I'm behind on videos, so I'm not deliberately leaving anyone out that has said that they want to do the same. Just generally speaking, do check out other diamond painting creators. Even if we do videos on the same topics for how-tos, a lot of times someone might have a slightly different perspective, or maybe you click with them a little bit easier or learn from how their style of teaching is a little bit better. So definitely check out multiple videos from multiple people. I already have one video that may or may not have gone up before this one. I'm kind of still figuring out my schedule for this week. I've already recorded my first like big how-to video for the year. And so I'm kind of dipping my toes back into it. I'm also open to your input if you want. I'm not trying to outsource labor here, but purely if there are topics you're interested in hearing me dive into and do some more tutorials on, or even ones you'd like me to revisit. For example, I did a 2-part video series on how to multi-place. If you're a perfectionist like me, those videos are 4+ years old now. And I feel like with a lot of my tutorials, I feel like I would probably be saying a lot of the same things, but maybe I have a different perspective or something new to bring to it. And maybe when you go to look up how-to videos, if you see that a video is 4 years old, 5 years old, you're gonna be like, no, I'm gonna go find something newer. I don't know. If you have thoughts on this, I very much welcome them, whatever they look like, good, bad, the ugly, all that. So anyway, goal number 1 is more tutorials and how-tos here on my channel. Goal number 2, I've talked about a lot already, and that's focusing on trying to refresh my stash a bit. I want to get through some of the older kits in my stash, and also as part of this, like a lot of those older kits are rainy day stash kits too, like the Mandy Manzano Princess panels, or some of these more like vintagey Diamond Art Club kits. I just enjoy kind of collecting for the novelty of it. It's like, oh, I want to work on some of those too. So taking part in the Refresh Your Stash Challenge in some form that Lisette from Lisette Crafts and Tells is putting on is goal number 2. Goal number 3 is, as part of kind of a stepping stone a little bit from the Refresh Your Stash, is just generally thinking about if there's anything I want to refresh on my channel. This one I had a hard time trying to define. It's had me just thinking like, do I want to redo my intro or ending slides? It's a little bit more behind the scenes stuff. Do I want to refresh like this particular thing? Do I want to try this new kind of thing? Having had my channel for 5.5 years, it's been really easy for me to fall into a routine and do what just sort of, I'm like, well, this is what I enjoy, or this is what I gravitate towards, but I want to also like try new things and also mix things up sometimes. So this one is really loosely defined. It's gonna be something I'm gonna have on my mind to be percolating on. Like, okay, let's do this. Let's change this up or something. Nothing too crazy. Like I said, it could be as simple as changing up the banner on my YouTube channel homepage, or something bigger. I don't know what that would be, but we'll see. Goal number 4 is a carryover from last year, and that's to prioritize working on new to me shops and just small shops in general. Let's be honest, 2025 was rough in terms of small shop closures. It makes me really, really, really sad to see how many shops closed in 2025. And I want to keep trying to do what I can to support small shops and share about small shops. I am really far from perfect on this. I'm always also trying to balance that kind of concept with working on kits that just genuinely, like, I really strongly am drawn to. There's really specific artists and art styles, companies that I'm really familiar with that, yeah, I tend to be drawn to more than others. I'm not going to pretend that's not true. But last year, I think half the kits I worked on were from shops other than Diamond Art Club. I had, I think, 17, 15, something like that, different shops represented in kits I completed last year. So I really am trying, and I'm going to continue to hold that as a value here on my channel as best as I possibly can, and whatever is also just within my budget right now, the situation I have. The last thing I'm going to put on here, this is a little bit, quite honestly, it's a little bit embarrassing, but it's just being really real with you. If you're new to my channel, you would probably have no idea about this, but there was this really ridiculous, huge project that I completed in 2024. In the fall of 2024, I completed this project. It was a huge cross-stitch conversion project that is, imagine a Mandy Manzano Princess panel, which is like the size of a person, like the height and rough width of a person. 8 of those. I had broken this giant cross-stitch chart that I was turning into a diamond painting into 8 panels. It took me a couple of years to complete. And once I completed it, then began one of the biggest creative and mental blocks I have ever encountered in terms of diamond painting and YouTube. I just could not bring myself to put together a post review for this project. So that project fully completed has only been shown like in brief snippets, like in my year in review for 2024. I think I showed a picture of it, and maybe in my month in review for the month that I completed it, maybe. And I think I just keep trying to I got stuck on trying to figure out, how do I do a video that does this kind of project justice, but then was also running into like, there was so much that burned me the heck out with doing that project that once it was done, I was like, I never want to look at it or think about it again. It's been over a year since I finished that project. I really thought I was going to get to post review of that project in 2025, and I didn't. So we're going to see if 2026 is the year. I am starring that one. Like, please, please, please let this be the year. And if you have magic inspiration to send my way that you feel like would help me with this, somehow putting this together, you'll have to let me know. I think I got in my head about it. I know I got in my head about it, and I thought, well, I want to be able to talk about all the ways I would display it, and I want to incorporate all these different ideas into it. And instead, I just ended up doing nothing with it. And I wish I would have just instead done a really standard post review style video and at least been able to show it and talk about it that way. So anyway, that's goal number 5 for 2026. And hopefully we'll get to it this year. So anyway, that is it. I had a lot of fun talking to you guys about what my thoughts are for YouTube and diamond painting in 2026. I will be keeping you posted along the way, like I said, with my bingo card and how this goes. Let me know in the comments, please. What are your goals for 2026? Do you have any specific kits you want to work on? Are there any events you want to try to make sure you participate in? I will be hosting 3 events this year. I will be doing Fairy Tales and Folklore, which is taking place in February, the first year for this event. And then I am planning, this could hypothetically change. Right now, I'm not planning on it changing, but just the caveat, this could change. Summer with the Masters, I think it's 6th year for this summer, which is June and July, and is from artwork that is in that kind of classic artwork style. And we usually go with saying it's in the public domain. And so whatever the current copyright year is, I don't remember what that'll be this year. But it's, you know, your Van Gogh, your John William Waterhouse, your Klimt, like the Kiss, that kind of stuff. Those kinds of pieces. And then I will be hosting Drills and Chills, which I think this will be the 8th year for that event, which is a fall and Halloween themed event happening in September and October. So if you're looking for events that I'll be doing here on my channel, that's what I've got in mind for this year. But there's lots of other events going on in the community. Check out your favorite YouTube creators. There's also ones that are like just on Facebook or just on Instagram or in Discord servers. So it's, I don't know if there really are a lot of good central locations for event info now. There's a Facebook group. There's a couple Instagram accounts I'll link below that you could check out that are resources too. But yeah, that's it. I'm going to let you guys go. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to stay up to date with me throughout the year. And I'll be doing month in reviews where I'll kind of touch on how this bingo card's going, how my goals are going, and stuff like that. And we'll also probably do, if I do it like last year, I'll do a mid-year check-in where we talk about the kits that I've worked on and what squares I've checked off and stuff like that. So looking forward to reading your comments below. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, I look forward to diving into 2026 alongside all of you. So have a day and a week and a year that's as wonderful as you are. I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye, guys.